honored to have with us Union Minister of Railways, Electronics and IT and Information and Broadcasting, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw. Thank you so much for being here, sir. And with that, I'd like to call Mr. Vaishnaw up on stage. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause, please. Mr. Vaishnaw will be in conversation with Surabhi Agarwal, Editor Technology, The Economic Times. Surabhi, we're super excited to hear your conversation. Thank you for being here, sir, and over to you both.
Thanks, Cyrus. Hello and good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Vaishnaw. Thank you so much for being with us here this evening. It's a real pleasure to host you.
Good to be the opening batsman.
All right. So let me begin by something which is sort of top of the mind right now. Climate change is a big concern, Mr. Vaishnaw. Sustainability is a big ask. For a country which is developing but has ambitions to be a developed nation by 2047, how do we walk the tightrope?
So I asked this question in Davos, a country which is today having $3,000 per capita income. What do you think is the percentage of power generation capacity which comes from the non-fossil fuels? Most people in the audience, they said about 5%, 7%. When I shared the actual number, 45%, there was like, oh, something very different is happening in this country. So our Prime Minister is so committed towards the cause of saving our planet, the cause of climate change, the cause of having sustainable growth, and it's reflected in every sector. In railways, this year we'll be having 100% electrified railway network this 2025. And not just scope 1, but we are also now targeting scope 2 net zero. Probably scope 1 will get this year itself. Scope 2, we have already tied up about 4,000 megawatts of green power, and about 7,000 is in the pipeline. So by 2030, which is our target for having complete net zero, I think we are on track.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Vaishnaw. I want to touch upon another hot button issue, which is the big T, tariffs and Trump. We all know that India will be impacted in sort of several sectors. Government has sprung into action. I want to understand that how we sort of safeguarding our interests, especially in areas like electronics manufacturing. Will the reset be in some way beneficial for us?
I think out of this entire geopolitical shift which is happening, India will emerge very powerful, very strong, very substantially better conditions we will come out with. The reason for that is the pragmatism with which we are approaching this entire thing. We are not looking at it from a very ideological way. We are looking at it from what's good for our country. What's the right way of looking at it? Can we have a deal between India and US and see what is the, see if you look at it, if you look at the entire, we actually did an exercise. If you look at all the HSN code lines, it's actually a very complementary trade relationship between the two countries. So I think we'll come out very strong out of it.
Since we're talking about the US, I want to also ask you that US has imposed sort of some export controls on things like chips. There are controls on AI models, right? What does it mean for a country like India, even though right now we are not that impacted, but in the long run, as AI becomes like a geopolitical tool, are we safe? Are we prepared enough, or are we late to the party?
See, in the world of AI, there are 5 layers in this entire thing, right? The chip layer, the foundational model layer, then the application layer, the data center and hyperscaler layer, and the talent layer. I think we are working across all the 5 layers. Our foundational model should be, and we should have 3 of them by end of this year. Our work on the developing our own GPU, we should be having it in next 3 to 4 years. I think we are on track. We recently launched, just a couple of days back, we launched the 14,000 GPU common compute facility. We had targeted 10,000, and we actually got 14,000 GPUs. And that's a common compute facility which is available for all startups, for all academic public funds, in, of course, a PPP model, where we are putting in public funds for creating a common compute facility. Whereas in many other geographies, the entire compute power is actually hoarded by a few. So that's a very interesting model that our Prime Minister always tells us, that we must democratize technology. So it's that approach with which we are working, and I think we are in very good shape. Like in IT services, where we emerged as a major IT services power, I think in this new industrial revolution or new knowledge revolution, I think India will emerge as one of the major players, not only in providing services, but also in being the major technology creator in this age of AI, I would think so.
Right. Mr. Vaishnaw, there's often been a debate about, India's over-reliance on services and not having enough product companies. We have the best of India Inc. here, right? What will be your message to them?
Can I make a request? Nobody's saying yes. See, all of you have done fabulously well in your lives, in your businesses. Can we actually take 25, 30 products and start investing in them? I know many of you have already done very well in that field. But for example, something as basic as the capital goods, which are today going into the manufacturing of some of the basic consumer goods, right? For example, in mobile phone manufacturing. I know Mr. Chandra has already done very good work getting some firms from Pune and Coimbatore to actually design and manufacture the capital goods there. Can we take that as a challenge and start developing some of those goods, and in our own fields, let's say if it is the tech industry, can the IT industry invest in 3 foundational models? Can the IT industry invest in creating our own mobile phone operating system? If that is one challenge that all of us collectively take, and I tell you, if you take one step forward, the government is there to take 10 steps with you.
So it's a clarion call from the minister. Thank you so much for it, Mr. Vaishnaw. Moving to railways now. I remember when you had just taken over as the railways minister, and in one of the conversations you had said that your dream, your aspiration is to make rail travel probably equivalent to what traveling by air is, right? How far are we on that dream aspiration of yours?
See, last 11 years have been phenomenal for the Indian Railways. It has really, really transformed. There are so many things which have happened, which should have happened, let's say 40 years back. But still, in the last 10 years, we have electrified about 45,000 kilometers of railway network. Imagine, in the first 60 years of our independence, we did 20,000 kilometers. And in the 10 years, 11 years, we have done 45,000 kilometers, right? That's the pace at which work has happened. In the last 11 years, we have constructed 34,000 kilometers of new railway tracks. That's more than the entire network of Germany. That's the pace at which we are working. We are today manufacturing 1,500 locomotives a year. That's more than the entire locomotive production in North America and Europe put together. That's the pace at which we are working. And many new products are coming up. The Vande Bharat, I don't know how did any one of you get a chance to travel by Vande Bharat? I was expecting very good. That's quite a large number. Any experiences? Okay, that looks like a very uniform. Looks good? 10 on 10? Excellent. Thank you. I mean, that's a fundamental change. Just 2 days ago, one of my cabinet colleagues told me that his friends today send the goods by car to the airport in Mumbai, and they travel by Vande Bharat. I mean, that's the kind of change which is happening. Yes, lot more work to be done, and lots of things are there in the pipeline, and it requires a huge effort because it's a humongous organization. 1,15,000 kilometers of tracks, 12 lakh employees, now 12,34,000 employees. And a long legacy of more than 100 years. So changing, communicating that change, making sure that everybody is on the same page, making sure that the politics of this industry also is properly managed, it's quite a humongous task.
Right. I think, like you said, Minister, I think there's a lot of investment which has gone into the railways. We are modernizing the stations, we are modernizing the trains, high-speed railways is being built, the fleet expansion is happening on both ends of the spectrum. But still, there are some more efforts required on the safety side. Probably that's something which is there on top of everybody's mind. How are you marrying your two hats, which is of being the tech minister and the railways minister, and using technology probably to make railways safer?
We are infusing huge amount of technology in railways, whether it is in the track inspection machines, whether it is in the case of having coverage, making sure that the entire timetable, which must give enough time for maintenance period, optimizing that, multiple ways of infusing technology, and the results are there. Today we are investing close to 1,14,000 crore in the safety related activities, and the results are there. Just 10 years ago, it used to be about 171 accidents a year. Now that number has come down to 30. And that's not something that we should be satisfied at. We are still putting huge effort, and the results are visible. People are coming back with feedback that, okay, and a lot of startups are joining us for this race. Very soon we'll have some major new technological breakthroughs also, and that will again make a big change in our railways. And Kavach, which was again a major, it's automatic train protection technology, which most of the major railways in the world, they installed in 1990s. It was a Prime Minister Modi who actually had to come and start this work in our country. And today we have the version 4.0 of Kavach is now approved, certified, and now the rapid rollout is happening. So a lot more things are happening on this field. Yeah.
Right. As we move on, Minister, I want to come back to the entire global change in dynamics which is happening right now. Thomas Friedman some time back wrote that the world is flat. Probably it's no more flat with the start of the trade wars, deregulation, deglobalization. How can India take this opportunity head on? Do you see it as a threat? Do you see it as an opportunity? As a leader of the global south, what does it mean for us?
I think our pragmatism is going to hold us good. A pragmatic approach will really mean that we can achieve what we need to achieve. We can look at things in a very objective way rather than being theoretical about things. Let's be practical and come out of it stronger is what I would say.
Right. There's another very important topic that I want to sort of bring up here, which is of talent. I think we've had free flow of talent. We've had Indians at big positions in global companies, but there is a debate going on there. I remember sometime back in a conversation, you had said that when you were in the 90s at the IIT, the only option that you had was either to go to the US or qualify for the IIS. Things have changed, but probably not to that large scale. What is it that India Inc. can do? What is it that the government can do to make sure that all of this talent potential that we have in large corporations everywhere, which is fueling innovation globally, can come back to India or stay in India and innovate here?
We have many such examples. Dr. Randir Thakur is one good example in the field of semiconductors. He has come back from US and now leading our entire fab initiative. And many more people, I mean, when I talk to the professionals or entrepreneurs and startup teams out there in US, a large number of them are actually coming back. They want to contribute. The opportunities are there today. 10 years ago, if you said that, okay, there is a startup, oh, come on. It was like very different conversation. Today, our Prime Minister's policies have led to India becoming among the top 3 startup nations. I think that was unthinkable 10 years ago. So that thing has really changed. At IIT Kanpur, I remember when we were working on, when you say this chat GPT, right? GPT, T is transformer. So I built the transformer from text to voice, text to sound. That was kind of, we were working, that was cutting edge. At height, that was 92, 91. So that time it was transformational, cutting edge, and but the opportunities, as you said, were very few. Today, opportunities are there. People are taking those risks. Youngsters are having that energy. And I'm so positive, so optimistic about it.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Vaishnaw. I want to bring up another very important debate, which is right now on top of everybody's mind in India Inc. What should be the ideal work week? I know that you work probably 120 hours in a week, probably more. You're here on a Saturday evening, full day work probably for tomorrow as well. But what are your thoughts? For a country which wants to be a developed nation by 2047, what should be an ideal work week? How should we go
I
about
don't want
this?
to get into that controversy. My good friend SNS is already facing a lot of flack for that. Well, I just want to say that it's your own choice, your company's choice. You decide your own path. As for my thought process, I think there is no substitute for hard work. And our Prime Minister is a big example for it. Morning, 4 o'clock, he arrives from Japan, and 10 o'clock, he is there in the cabinet meeting. So it's an example that he has set. And each one of us have our own challenges and good things. What I would like to say that in these circumstances, our families also have to be on board with what we are doing. And I would like to thank my family for all the support they have given in this entire journey.
Thank you so much for that answer with Mr. Vaishnaw. With that, we come to the end of this conversation. Thank you so much for being here once again. What a great conversation.
Thank you. Thank you
Let's
so
have
much.
a round of applause for the minister. Thank you.